For this lesson, you will practice the basics of using hard slabs to construct perpendicular walls with strong, hidden seams. You will also practice identifying the differences between plastic and leather hard clay. The materials that you will need for this lesson are your cloth, 3x3 inch template, wire cutter, 1 pound of clay, your ruler, dowel, 2 pencils, your knife, a fork, a spoon, brush, your rib, and slip. A hairdryer may also come in handy, but it's not required. Step 1. Prepare 2 3x3 inch square slabs that are 1/4 inch thick. Remember that your pencils are 1/4 inch thick. They are your spacers. As soon as your rolling pin touches both spacers from top to bottom of the slab, you know your slab is also 1/4 inch thick. When you have 2 3x3 inch slabs that are each 1/4 inch thick, you are ready for the next step. Step 2. Move slabs towards the leather hard stage. Let's talk about the difference between the plastic and leather hard stages of clay. You know that the plastic stage of clay is when you can shape and bend clay without it cracking or breaking. Because of these qualities, plastic slabs are great for constructing round, hollow forms. However, slabs at the leather hard stage are used when constructing angular, straight-edged forms. Clay at the leather hard stage has less water. With less water, the clay particles move closer together and lock. As a result, the clay has less flexibility and does not distort as easily as plastic clay does. Leather hard clay requires less support to keep its shape. You can move your plastic slabs to the leather hard stage simply by exposing the clay to the air. The process can be sped up with a blow dryer or fan. Keep the source of air high and moving. Be careful not to hold the dryer too close or too long on one spot. Uneven drying can cause slabs to bend and warp. For this reason, you will want to flip your slabs over multiple times during the process. You will know your clay is leather hard when it has formed an outer leather-like skin and loses its flexibility. It will feel like a thick slice of cheddar cheese. It will still be a dark color because it still contains water. Avoid allowing the clay to change color. A lighter color indicates that the clay is moving to the bone dry stage and will no longer have enough water for construction. Adding water will only weaken the slab. You will have to start over. Step 3. Cut one slab in half. Fold your 3x3 inch template in half to help you cut one of your square slabs in half. Step 4. Define the areas to be scored. When constructing, the square slab will be the base. You will build the rectangular walls on top of the square base. Before construction, you will want to identify and define all the surfaces that will be scored and slip together. Line up your first wall with the top edge of your base. Use the pencil to draw a line where the inside seam will be located. Do the same for the second wall. The space between the edge of the base and the lines are the boundaries within where you will add your score marks and slip. Notice that the length of both walls overlap in the corner. This means one wall has more length than is needed. Line up the edge of the wall with the overlapping line. Use the ruler to draw a line where the excess length will be removed. In addition to the walls being attached to the base, the walls must also be attached to one another at the corner. Draw a line where the corner will be scored and slipped. Step 5. Score surfaces to be attached. Score all the surfaces to be attached to one another. Scoring will help lock the surfaces together when the slip is added. Use a fork or other sharp tool to help you score deeply into the clay. If the leather hard clay is too stiff for your plastic fork, switch to a pencil like you see in the video. Don't forget the corners. Forgetting the corners is one of the biggest mistakes beginners make when first learning to construct with slabs. Step 6. Add slip to the scored areas. Remember that slip is the first stage of clay. It is liquid clay. When constructing with clay, we use slip as our potter's glue. Add slip to all your scored surfaces. Firmly press the seams together and make sure that your walls are perpendicular. Step 7. Reinforce the interior seams. Reinforce the interior seams using very thin plastic coils. The plastic coils don't need to be perfect. They just need to be thin and plastic. Avoid thick coils. You'll only make more work for yourself. Place and compress the coils into the interior seams of your form. You can use water on your finger to help you glide your finger over the clay. Each coil helps to reinforce or make each seam stronger and less likely to crack or pull apart during the drying and firing process. Also use a pencil eraser or other rounded tool to compress the coil into the seam. When you are done, there should be no evidence that you used a coil to reinforce your seams. The interior seams should look clean and smooth. You may use a slightly damp sponge to clean any marks on the clay surface left by your fingers or tools. Step 8. Stitch the exterior seams. Stitching is when you mix the clay from two separate pieces together across the seam. Use a cross-hatching motion with a sharp tool, like a needle tool, fork, or pencil. Step 9. Compress the exterior seams. Use your finger pads or rounded tool to help you compress the stitched clay. In other words, you are pushing the clay particles tighter together. This compressing action serves to strengthen the connection between slabs while also hiding the seams. You are not removing clay, you are simply pushing it back into the seam. Use a rib to smooth and even out your surface. The rib also adds some extra compression. If you have scored, slipped, stitched, and compressed correctly, the interior and exterior seams will not be visible and your walls will be strong. Step 10. Document your work. You will take 2 photos of your work like the teacher examples here. You will take a photo of the inside seams and a photo of the outside seams. Include a piece of paper with your name, block, and date in each photo. Practice your hard slab construction skills and get to claying.